Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my home in Livingston, Montana. Okay, I got a frog in my throat like usual. Let me try my trusty coffee here. Okay, it's storytelling time from my childhood. If you don't like my storytelling or my childhood stories, get gone, because you're not going to hurt my feelings none. I'm saying that nicely, okay? Lately, I've been telling some relatively crude stories. You know what I mean? Stories of color, stories that are a little bit on the dirty side. So I thought I'd, from my library of stories, pick a little bit better one. Now, look, folks, I think in my 600 and some odd videos, I think I've already told this story, but it doesn't matter. The words might change a little bit, but it's the same story, okay? I was about 15 years old, okay? And I got a brother of mine that's 2 years younger than me. That would have made him around 13 years old. Okay, back in them days, there was this little tiny town in between Ronan, Montana, where I grew up, and Polson, Montana, where I grew up, called Pablo, Montana. There was a church there called the Church of the Nazarene, okay? Some of my relatives went there. It didn't have a very big attendance. I think we only had like 50 or 60 people, max attendance or whatever have you. And this particular church here was always going through pastors. That's why I can't remember which pastor we had, because they only paid $200 a month. I mean, who in the hell, excuse my French there, who in the hell could live on $50 a week? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay, this one bright, sunny spring day, and I remember it was in the spring of the year. I'd rather been out fishing or anything than sitting in a boring church pew. And this is one of them old churches with the old wooden pews. You guys know what I'm talking about. Well, some of you heathens don't go to church, don't understand that kind of stuff. But anyway, let me set up a scenario. Okay, there was X amount of rows of pews on left-hand side, X amount of pews on the right-hand side. I want to say we had like 8 pews on the left-hand side, 8 pews on the right-hand side, whatever have you. Well, okay, I remember this all too well, just like it was yesterday. On the left-hand side, about halfway up to the front, here sat my brother and a friend of ours. This friend of ours is named Robin, and I got to say this with due respect because he's dead now. He got killed in a car wreck. But here's my brother and Robin sitting about halfway into the pews, and what it was is on the same side, my mother was sitting a couple of pews back, and she was, in my line of sight, because I'm sitting in back of my mom. You follow me? There's me, then there's my mom, and then there's Nick and Robin. They're sitting kind of towards the end of this particular pew setup. Now, admittedly, ladies and gentlemen, when I was a kid, church used to bore me. I'm sorry, Lord. I'll make it up to you one of these days. But anyway, but I'm trying to pay attention to the service and what's going on and everything. But I got my eye. I'm looking over to the left, and I got my eye on Nick and Robin, and I knew something was going on. You follow me? I just knew it. There was too much hustle and bustle, and they had their heads together, and I could hear them whispering, like this, and I could hear some scratching sounds and a few things going on like this, and and I just knew they were up to no good. All right, now here's my mom. Remember, she's sitting right in front of me, a couple pews away, and I remember my mom. My mom was a very staunch Christian woman, okay? But she had her radar. she had her radar eyes right on my brother Nick and his friend Robin. Well, he was my friend too, you know. I mean, she was locked into what they were doing because I am pretty sure that my mom realized that whatever they were doing, they were up to no good. Well, exactly, to make a long story short, exactly what they were doing is my brother had this rusty old jackknife, or Robin did, or Nick did, one of the two anyway. And what they were doing is they were carving their initials in them old wooden church pews. You got me? They were sitting there, you know, old Nick, you know, and he's, you know, chipping away on the end and, you know, trying to get the B in there and all this other stuff. Well, Robin, it was getting really close to the end of the service. You know, the pastor was getting ready to close out and everything. And Robin, he's getting impatient because he wants his turn at carving his initials in that old church pew. And so what ended up happening, and I knew things were heating up a little bit there because they kind of started shoving each other. And the next thing I know, both of these two heathens, these monkeys, these sinners, they jump up and they start a fist fight right at the end of the sermon, right at the... Listen to me, listen, man. You know, I'm trying to make this as funny as I can. Right at the end of the sermon, and they get into a fist fight. I'm talking about fisticuffs, because back in my day, that's the way we settled things. We didn't stand on a street corner calling each other names and all that crap that people do now. You know, but they're going at it, you know. And right away, my attention goes right to my mom, because I knew my mom was not, I repeat, not going to let any of this stuff go on. Now, she's a couple of pews in back of Robin and Nick, okay? And how she did this, I'll never know. I know that she pole vaulted, literally pole vaulted over them pews to get to them two little heathens, them two little monkeys there, standing there fighting and carrying on a bunch of stuff. Now, this is what my mom did. Now, I don't remember left, right, whatever. It doesn't make any difference. But she got my brother by his ear, okay? By one ear, and she got Robin by the other ear. And you could have heard her to high heaven. This is what she says. She says, "You two sinners need Jesus." Just like that. You two little heathens need Jesus, you know. And she, by the lobes of the right here, by the lobes of her ears, she just led him right into the aisle, you know, and takes him right up to the altar there, you know. And she's holding him. I mean, these monkeys are not getting away no matter what. And she goes, "Pray." Okay, while my mom was doing this stuff, I knew holy hell was going to break loose. I just knew it. And I ran out the back door of the church. Well, it was actually the front door. And there was a great big old, not a stained glass window, but a window that was just barely big enough for me to kind of look up, you know. And I had to kind of hang on the sill because, man, this was a show I didn't want to miss, you know. And she's in there, pray, and you need Jesus, and all this other stuff. But I'm out there, yeah, Mom, they do. These little heathens, they definitely need Jesus, you know, and all this other stuff. It's like I was pure. And I can guarantee you that I wasn't. It's just that I was a little bit slicker than my brother and could get away with things a little bit better, you know. But I always thought that was so freaking hilarious. You know, you folks may not find that hilarious at all, but I did, you know. You need Jesus. And believe you me, ladies and gentlemen, they needed Jesus, you know. They really did. Okay, now today is Sunday. This is a good story for a Sunday. It is May 17th of 2020, and I got 1:41 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here in Livingston, Montana. Okay, that's all I've got to say for this. How my brother come to meet Jesus, you know, and become his personal savior. And Now, I'm not trying to be sacrilegious here or nothing. It's just a story, so don't get tight. Okay? Take care of yourself. Take care of yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. And like I'm famous or infamous for saying, we'll see you on down the trail. And adios, my friends. And where's the stop button so I can get gone here,